NewYouTV. I'm Debbie. I am the owner of Adame's Gifts as well as the founder of the Social Queens. And this is Karin, who is the founder of NewYou Life Coaching as well as NewYouTV. And normally she's in the interview chair, but this morning I have the privilege of interviewing Karin so she can tell us a little bit more about life coaching and how it works and who can benefit from it. And I understand, Karin, that you originally you were a nurse, that was your field, and then you somehow ended up in retail, and it's kind of been a whirlwind of a road for you. So why don't you kind of tell us a little bit about it and how you got started? And
I'm going to tell my story here. No, I was born and raised in Sweden, and I came to the United States when I was 25 years old. And yes, I have a nursing degree from Sweden. I worked 6 years as a nurse in Sweden. And also when I came to the States, I worked for 4 years with people with head injuries.
So what brought you from Sweden to the U.S.?
Oh, just wanted to try something new. I just felt that Sweden was too small. You know, it's a very tiny country.
Right.
I just didn't feel like that's where I wanted to be. I wanted to travel. I wanted to see the world, and I just didn't feel like I quite belonged there.
Oh.
So that's where I took a leap, and I was going to only be in the States for a year, but things happen, and I'm still here. So
yeah, so you've called the U.S. your home all these
yes,
years then.
Well,
oh.
but both places my home.
Right.
I mean, I feel home in both countries. So. But anyway, so nursing too, I just felt like I was out of alignment with nursing. It wasn't what I wanted to do. I enjoyed it. I learned a lot. So I started a retail business, and it was in the early 90s. And I started with a gift business, and then I turned it into ladies apparel. And I did that for almost, I think almost 10, 12 years I was in retail.
So how did nursing turn into retail?
Good question. Well, in 2012, my life completely collapsed. It just crashed within a couple of months. Oh, there were a lot of episodes leading up to it, and I was refusing to acknowledge what was going to happen and did happen. And yes, it could have been probably prevented if I would have made some better choices upstream. But I had to take a big fall, and what happened was that within 3 months, my mom passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And I had to leave a destructive and abusive relationship that I've been in for a long time.
Oh, wow.
And I had to return to Sweden after living here for 25 years. So that was a lot at the same time.
Yeah, it was probably maybe a different culture shock because even though you're from Sweden,
yeah.
You've been in the U.S. 25 years and you go back, it still could be a bit of a culture shock.
It was a huge culture shock, and I just didn't want to go to live in Sweden. I just didn't feel like that's where I needed to be, but that's where it brought me. And when I got to Sweden, I was in pieces. But studying a lot of psychology, because I've always had an interest in self-awareness and mindfulness, I knew that I accepted that where I was, and I needed to move forward. I had to accept where I was to be able to move forward and make some plans. Wow. So I can do what I wanted to do. And also, I had to take responsibility for what I've done. I stayed in a relationship for many, many years where I knew better. But at the time, my awareness wasn't there. But hopefully it is here now. So
yeah, but I credit you that because a lot of people have a very difficult time just acknowledging where they are at in their lives and being aware and taking responsibility and saying, I need to make a change. So I give you a lot of credit for that.
Thank you. Well, that's why we have coaches. But anyway, so I feel like I was sitting in a big dark hole, and I knew I was the only one that was going to be able to pull myself out of there. I had a really good friend. I have a really good friend, Ingela. Hi, Ingela.
Hi, Ingela.
And she's kind of been a coach for me and mentor and helping me. But I knew this was too big for her. So I did come across a life coach and started working with him. And I found it very interesting, and I really enjoyed the experience. And I've been looking at coaching a little bit before that. I had looked at myself, and I was like, what am I interested in? What do I like? And psychology always came back up.
Right.
And that's a little bit how I decided to go into the field of coaching, because I got a lot of help with him. He helped me. Of course, I had to do the work, and I just, it was a very good experience. And that's how I decided that I'm going to get back to the United States. I set a goal of 1 year after I returned from Sweden. I was going to go back to the United States. I was going to become a certified life coach, and I was going to help women that also would end up in situations like I ended up in helping them to bounce back after you get knocked down in life.
Yes, and that's amazing that you took your circumstances, your life situation, and turned it into a positive where you want to help other women that are facing those similar circumstances. So definitely women can see you, hear your story, and say, "Hey, that's me."
Mm.
So that's
Yeah,
fantastic.
and a lot of times that's why I focus on women 40 plus, because as women, we're the nurturers. We take care of everybody, but we somehow neglect to take care of ourselves.
Right, we don't do
And
that.
yeah, and we end up in relationships that after a while we may have outgrown. We end up in dead end marriages and dead end works.
Yes.
And we just don't know how to get ourselves out of it. We get stuck after a while, and we don't know how to get out of it. So with some coaching, can learn to get people unstuck so they can move on and create the life and the dreams that they want. Because if you allow other people to plan your life, it's like Jim Rohn says, guess what they got planned for you? Not much.
Right. So what I'm hearing is the people that would benefit, specifically women, as we're talking here, would be women that are in those situations in their lives where I need to take care of myself. I've been doing too much for too long, not taking care of me mentally or emotionally,
And health wise.
and health wise, yes.
Our health.
And that's where you would come in, and then you could help them and teach them different techniques and help them learn different ways to deal with circumstances and
Well, I decided to focus on women 40 plus because of my own experience.
Okay,
I can coach somebody 35 also, but I think they can relate to what I'm talking about. And I can relate to them. So basically, as a coach, what we'll do is a coach will take you from where you are right now to where you would like to go, and then we bridge the gap. So when I get a coaching client, the first thing I do, I'm just going to tell you a little bit how how the process works.
Yeah, tell us how the process works. That'd be great.
So a lot of times when women come to me and I ask them, what do you want? What's your vision for your life? They have no clue. So many people don't know what they want. They know they want something. They want to be happy.
But they're not sure.
Yeah, they want to be happy. And I say, well, what does happiness means to you? And they're like, well, I just don't want to feel like this anymore. So we have to work and figure out a clear vision, a compelling future. And it might take a little while to discover what that is. But once we have that, what I also will do after that, I will go in and look at your habits, what has been working and what isn't working. Mm-hmm. And you also have to take responsibility for where you are in life and accept that I am here right now. And it doesn't matter really how you got there. A coach will never judge you. You know, we end up in situations that we're not proud of. I know I've done a lot of things that I wish I wouldn't have done, but I also learned from it, and and that's, you get a lot of insight and all of that. So none of our lessons are ever wasted.
So basically, people need to take a self-assessment of their selves internally, correct, mentally. Yeah. Take inventory of their emotions and their situations, and
that's easier said than done because a lot of times they can be very hurtful. So people don't really want to look at themselves, but we have to have some self-awareness and accept that, yes, we are here now in order to be able to move on.
Right.
So that's what we do, and then we create a plan of action because it's kind of like a blueprint that will take you from where you are to where you want to go.
Right.
So we have to put one together, and of daily success habits, weekly goals and monthly goals and your year goal, whatever it is. So we will put that blueprint together. And then next step is taking action. And that is a very difficult important one. Yeah, because we know that we can have this fantastic blueprint, or I want to do this and this and this and this, but nothing happens until we move.
Yes, you have to take that action, as you said.
Absolutely.
Or it's to me, I look at it, Karin, like, I have this beautiful blueprint of this house that I want built, but I'm just going to keep the blueprint here and I'm not going to build my house, and you'll never see your dream house.
There you go. So absolutely. So the action step is very important. Also, another thing that a coach is very valuable is that yes, you take the action, but then you run into obstacles and roadblocks. So often we do, and because what happens is we've gotten as far as we gotten before. We can take weight loss as a good example. You lost 15, 20 pounds, and then you run into blockage. And blocks and roadblocks and obstacles are not in our path to stop us. That's just, want to stop us for the moment to see how badly we want to reach our goal. Right. And you learn a lot from your roadblocks. And I think a lot of times people will stop and they will retreat back because they're like,
they don't want to go over that, like a speed bump or something.
Yeah,
right.
You're getting out of your comfort zone, and people don't like it. So it's very good to have a coach that will tell you this is absolutely normal. We're just going to push through, and that's what we do. And then once we're working with this, we go back and we course correct, because sometimes things that we plan and put in the blueprint might not work. So we have to look at what is working, and we'll do more of that. And what isn't working, we will come up with something different. And a lot of times we only off a millimeter or two.
Right.
So
yeah.
That's basically what it, how I start the people.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. Program. Now, I'm sure you probably have heard so many stories from different people and so many excuses. I'm too old, or I'm out of shape, or I don't have the right mindset. I'll never be able to do this. No, I can't do this. So how do you overcome that? How do you get your clients to come into a mindset that, yes, I need to make changes?
Well, first of all, I asked them, when they gave me all these excuses, and I said, well, we got to start somewhere. And it's like, well, I'm too old, I can't do these. Still breathing, and you got a body and all that. And they say, yep, okay, well, let's get going then.
No excuses. No excuses.
So we just have to work a little bit on the mindset there. Absolutely. And no one is ever too old, and no one is ever, too fat, like we say, or I don't come from the right neighborhood. I don't have the education. Coaching starts you where you are today. We don't judge. I would never judge. A coach will never judge. The important thing is, like, you're here now, you're stuck, but we have to move you. So we're looking future visioning. Get you out of there.
Oh, that's fantastic. Mm-hmm. And so you've told us a lot about the life coaching, and it just sounds amazing. It sounds like you can really, a person could benefit, anybody could benefit. And now, as far as like the services, are there specific services you offer? Mm-hmm. Or is it kind of like an all-encompassing plan, as you were mentioning, with the life skills and then your plans of action and all that? It just all kind of rolls into that categories.
At the moment, I'm focusing on one-on-one coaching.
Okay.
And coaching nowadays is done, all of coaching is done over the phone or via Skype. And the benefit of that is for the client, you don't have to travel.
That's amazing. So you can do it via Skype also?
Absolutely. And so
fantastic.
You can be anywhere in the world, and I can be anywhere in the world Skyping with you. But also, we live outside Houston, which is a huge city. If you live on the other side of Houston, you don't want to travel to come and see me. I mean, it'll take you a couple hours to get here for an hour of coaching.
Especially with the traffic around the area, yes.
Absolutely. And also, so that's a huge benefit for the client, because we just have to get on the phone or Skype. Also, I do coach in the evenings, because I do realize that most of the women, we have a job during the day.
Yes.
And so we got to tend to that. And so I'll coach in the evenings, because I know there's a big need for that.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And so one-on-one coaching is what I specialize in. Also, I do offer some workshops, and you can go to my website and find out what they are, and also the times that I've scheduled those for. And they are going to be in location mostly in the Spring Woodlands, Conroe area, the northwest part of Houston.
Oh, okay. So if everybody wanted to contact you, they can just go to your website
Absolutely.
As well. And your website is?
It's KarinGlannstam.com. And go and check it out. You can also sign up for a free newsletter, Motivational Monday newsletter. Also, there's a blog, and I write blogs on Mondays, Wednesday, and Friday. There's YouTube clips with coaching tips. And also, of course, it tells you my story, and it tells you about me, and also what the coaching. So you can go there, and you can contact me and just send me an email, and we can get you fixed up.
Yes, and do sign up for Karin's blogs and her newsletters, because she has excellent stories as well as coaching tips. So please do visit her website and sign up for her newsletter. So, Karen, do you have any specific tips that you'd like to leave with us before we leave today?
Well, something that I found very valuable, and I just want a few tips and things that I do on a daily basis. I think a gratitude journal is a fantastic tool to have, and I do that every day. Also, spend time in stillness. I take an hour. I'm privileged to be able to take an hour every morning, early in the morning when I get up. I drink my tea and I light a candle and I'm quiet. And this is when I get the most creative ideas.
Mentally set yourself for the day.
Yeah, that's how I start my day, and that's the way my day will go. And I understand that not everybody can take an hour, but you can take 5 minutes. You can turn on some music or light a candle and take that time for you. It's very, very important. Meditation is great, and I also do that. Of course, we need to movement, some kind of movement during the day. It's really important to move your body, and I'm fortunate to have two girls. Well, they're four-legged, and they always want to walk.
Keep you in shape, right?
Yeah, keeps me in shape, and they always, keeps me good company when I'm out there walking. Also, I want to say that we need some more energy. We need to pay attention to what we fuel our bodies with. We're very careful what we put in our car, but we do neglect our bodies. And if we want to have more energy, we have to pay attention what we eat and what we drink. And yes, I do love wine also, but we need to drink more water. So just the activity level, exercise, get out there, meditate, stillness. And also another one I think is very important. We're very super connected on the internet with everybody. I mean,
yes, definitely.
But I've noticed a lot of people have a tendency to neglect their family and their friends. And I think it's real important that we can connect and talk to each other, spend time together, being more in the present time. Because these are the people that something happens, they're the ones that are going to help you, and the ones that you can count on. Have a good support system around you, because people that are in China via Skype or on Facebook and Twitter, yes, it's a lot of fun, but in the end, keep a nice social net around you with people that you keep up with.
Yes. So disconnect from your connections as far as
electronics. Yes, once in a while,
and reconnect with humanity.
Yes, and your doggies,
and
your friends,
and your friends.
Yes,
definitely.
absolutely. Get out in nature, enjoy nature.
Enjoy nature.
I mean, we're fortunate here in Houston. It's most of the time it's sunny and beautiful, so can always get out in nature. But make a point of doing that.
Well, great. Well, it's been a pleasure speaking with you and finding out more about life coaching. And as we said before, please do visit Karen's website and her blog, sign up for her newsletters, and get those great coaching tips. And thank you for tuning in to this episode of NewYouTV. And as Karen says,
remember to always be courageous, take action, and make it happen. And do the things today that would guarantee you the life you want to live tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.